Good afternoon. This is Apba Brian bringing to you another Apba Classics baseball game. Today we will have the Chicago Cubs of 1935 take on the Cleveland Indians of 1954. Indians who won 111 games, American League champions. And the Cubs also won over 100 games. They were the National League champions. The Cubs will be bringing Charles Root, who had the most victories for relief pitchers in 1935. Chuck Klein, former Philadelphia Phillies slugger, had 43 home runs in his first full major league season. Longtime third baseman Stanley Hack. Today's pitcher Lon Warneke, who helped pitch two organizations to the World Series, the Chicago Cubs and later the St. Louis Cardinals. Larry French later became a Navy captain in World War II. And Hall of Famer catcher Gabby Hartnett. The Cleveland Indians can talk about their stars. Al Rosen, the third baseman, later a great Hall of Famer, great baseball executive. Bobby Avila, the 1954 American League batting champion. Larry Doby, who broke the color line for the American League, very talented center fielder for the Indians. Mike Garcia, one of the 20-game winners for the Indians. Today's pitcher, another 20-game winner, Early Wynn, and Bob Lemon. About ready for the starting lineups. Here's the starting lineups. For the Chicago Cubs, Augie Galan will play left field. Billy Herman, second base. Chuck Klein will be playing center field. Gabby Hartnett, the catcher. Frank Damari in right field. Phil Cavaretta, first base, and Stan Hack, the third baseman. Billy Jerkis, the shortstop. And again, Lon Warneke is the pitcher. For the Cleveland Indians, they will lead off with Al Smith in left field. Bobby Avila in the second baseman. Larry Doby, center fielder. Al Rosen, third base. Vic Wertz, former Detroit Tigers star, at first base. Dave Filey, right fielder. And George Strickland is the shortstop with Bobby Hegan catching. And Early Wynn prepares to take the mound and take his warm-up tosses. Augie Galan swinging two bats at the on-dead circle, waiting for the proceedings to begin. Galen tosses away his bats, and we're ready to go. Here is the first pitch. 26 is going to be a ground out to the second baseman for the first out. And I forgot to mention that the Cleveland Indians are fielding column 1 with the Chicago Cubs are fielding column 2. Billy Herman, 341 hitter in 1935, rolls a 51. That's an 8 on grade B pitcher. That's going to be a fly out to center field. Chuck Klein, 31 is a 9. That's going to be a base hit, our first hit in today's game. He'll be on first with 2 outs, average speed. Gabby Hartnett, 24, is going to be a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. As I mentioned, we got two very capable pitchers here today. Lon Warneke, he's a grade A pitcher, YZ modifiers. 20 wins to go up against Early Wynn's 23 wins in 1954. Al Smith steps in, the first batter for the Indians. 34 is the roll. Fly out to center field for the first out. Bobby Avila. 1-4 is a fly ball to left field. Frank Damari makes the catch. 2 down. Larry Doby. 65 is a pop-up behind catcher. Gabby Hartnett has it measured and makes the catch back by the screen. Ending the first inning, we go to the second, no score. Frank DeMario will lead off the Cleveland second inning. 51's a roll. Fly out to center field. One down. Phil Cavaretta, 45, is going to be a base on balls, and he is the first Cubs base runner today. Fast runner at first base. Stan Heck, with one down. Heck will swing away. Here's the pitch. 36, 2 balls and no strikes. 55 is going to be a 8 against a grade B with the runner on first. It's going to be a ground out to the first baseman, Vic Wertz, who tosses over to early win covering for the out, but Cavaretta goes to second with 2 outs. Billy Jurgis is the batter. 23 is a 12. That's going to be a ground out to second base. Ending the top of the second inning, no score. Lon Warnke goes back out to the mound. He will face Al Rosen, American League's MVP player in 1953, the year before. Led the league in home runs and RBIs. Here's the pitch to the 1-1 roll, 5 against the grade A. That will be a double over first base for Al Rosen. He will hold in the second with nobody out. Vic Wertz is the batter. 31 is a roll. That's going to be ball 4. Base on balls, so the Indians have their first 2 runners. And Rosen is wearing an Indian uniform, not a Cubs uniform, at second base. Here we go with nobody out and Dave Filey up with runners on first and second. 1-5 is going to be a 9 and gets a grade A pitcher out of first, pitcher to first base, but the runners advanced to scoring, both of them be in scoring position now with 1 out, and George Strickland the batter. Dewey pitched to Strickland, 213 pitcher, 213 batting average. I think we will go ahead and pitch to him. Here's the pitch. 55, 8 against a grade A pitcher. Is going to be a base hit over first base. Both runners are going to score, and they're rethinking that one there. They should have probably walked him. But Cleveland shortstop comes up big there and drives in the first 2 runs of the game. That will bring back the catcher, Jim Hegan. .46 is a fly out to left field. That's 2 outs. And now Early Win grabs the bat. 53 is a 21 on the fielding column 2. First and second on an error on the third baseman, Stan Heck. So a big error puts runners at second and third on the 2-base error in the top of the Cleveland order, and they have a chance to do a lot more damage here. Al Smith will be the batter. Here's the pitch. 1-1 roll is a second column roll. 1-4 is a double, clearing the bases. And Cleveland has scored 4 here in the bottom of the second inning. So Al Smith at second base, 2 outs. Bobby Avila will be the batter. 46 is a 29. That's going to be a ground out to first base to the pitcher for the final out, but a very productive inning for Cleveland as they take a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Early Wynn goes back out to the mound. He will be facing Lonnie Warnicki. Yeah, that's correct. First batter for Chicago. Here's the pitch to Warnicki. That's going to be a pop out to the catcher. Out number 1. Now the top of the order, Augie Galan. That's the second column roll. 41 is a double for Augie Galan. And the Cubs have a runner in scoring position. 341 hitter coming up, Billy Herman. Early Wynn will want to deal carefully here with Herman. Here's the pitch. 35, 8 on a grade B. With the runner on second. He's going to be out of first. Pitcher to first base. Galen goes to third. That's 2 outs. And Chuck Klein comes to bat. 44 is going to be a 7. Base hit, and the runner will score. So an RBI single for Chuck Klein scoring Augie Galen from third base. And the Cubs are on the board. It is now Cubs 1, Indians 4. So it's always encouraging for a team when they can give up some runs but come back and score in the next half inning. Here is Gabby Hartnett hoping to do more damage. 53 as an 18, column 1. It's going to be a ground out to the shortstop, ending the top of the third inning. We have the wrong inning on the scoreboard. But the score is the Chicago Cubs 1, Cleveland Indians 4. Larry Doby will lead off the bottom of the third inning for Cleveland. 65 is going to be a pop out to the catcher. And that's the second time he's been retired by a pop out to the catcher. Kyle Rosen, 41 is the roll. 24 is a ground out to the shortstop, Billy Jurgis, who throws over to Phil Cavaretta for the second out. Here is the Indians first baseman, Vic Wertz. 43 is a ground out to the pitcher for the third out. We go to the fourth, Cubs 1, Indians 4. Frank Amari leads off for the Chicago Cubs. 63 is a fly out to center field. Phil Cavaretta, 61. 41 is going to be a error on the shortstop, George Strickland. So Cavaretta will be at first with speed. And the batter will be Stan Heck with 1 out, 1 on. That's going to be a foul pop-up behind the catcher. And Jim Egan has a measure and has it by the screen for the second out. We go to the next batter, Billy Jurgis, Chicago shortstop. 64 is a 39. The runner will be out caught stealing. 2-4. Ending the top of the third. Ending the top of the fourth. Score Cubs 1, Indians 4. With the bottom of the Cleveland order, Dave Filey will be the batter. Rolled out to the pitcher his first time out. 21 is going to be a fly ball to left field for 1 away. George Strickland committed an error last inning. Like to make up for that. 33 is a 8 against a grade A pitcher. Pop out to third base. 2 away. Jim Hegan is the batter. 23 is a Y modifier for a strikeout. We go to the fifth. Cubs 1, Indians 4. Okay, for the fifth inning, Billy Jurgis is still up to bat. He was the batter when Cavaretto was caught stealing. Here's the pitch to Jurgis. 44 is a fly out to center field. Lonnie Warnicki comes to bat. 43 is a ground out softly back to the. Nope, that's the next modifier, so it's not a ground out. It'll be a strikeout. 2 away with the top of the Cubs order, Augie Galan. 53 is a 15. It's a fly out to left field. Go to the bottom of the fifth. Indians lead 4-1. Early win will lead off for the Cleveland team. 33 is a 8 against the A pitcher. There'll be a pop out to third base. Al Smith steps in for the Indians. 54 is a fly out to right field for the second out. Bobby Avila. 21 is a fly out to Frank DeMaria in right field also. And we go to the top of the sixth. Cleveland 4, Chicago 1. Billy Herman is the first batter for the Cubs. 44 is going to be a base hit for Billy Herman. He has average speed ratings. Chuck Klein. 56 is going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3. First out, Gabby Hartnett. Hartnett is 0 for 2. 64 is a 36. And that is going to be a wild pitch, sending Herman to second base now in scoring position. Ball 1 on Gabby Hartnett. '61 is a 24 with a runner on second base. That's going to be a pop out to the shortstop. The second out. Now Frank DeMaria will bat for Chicago. Here's the pitch to DeMaria. 13 is a base on balls. Phil Cavaretta with runners on first and second. 54 is a fly out to right field, concluding top of the sixth for Chicago. Cleveland 4, Chicago 1. Larry Doby will get things started for the Tribe here in the bottom of the sixth inning. 41 is a 26 play result, ground out to second base. And so far, Larry Doby is 0 for 3. That brings up Al Rosen, who is 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored in the second inning. 62 is a 39. That's strike 1 on Al Rosen. 55 is 8 against the grade A pitcher. Pop out to third base, 2 away. Vic Wirtz. 34 is going to be a fly out to center field. We go to the top of the seventh inning, and the Indians leading 4, Chicago Cubs of 1935 1. Okay, it's now time for the seventh inning trivia question. On July 13th, 1954, the Baseball All-Star Game was played in Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, where we are today. 21s were scored in that game, and the American League was the winning team. The question today is, who was the winning pitcher, although he did not retire a single batter with a pitch? in 1954? Who was that winning pitcher without retiring the batter? The answer will be with us back in the next half inning. We go to the top of the seventh inning. Stan Hack will lead off for the Chicago Cubs. Indians are still leading 4-1. They're scoring 4 runs back in the second inning. Here's the pitch to Stan Hack. 62 is a 39. That is going to be strike one. Here's the pitch to Hack. 33 is his second column roll. 1-2 is going to be a single. To lead the inning off for the Cubs in a positive fashion. We got speed at first base. Billy Jurgis, the batter. They're going to start the runner. And hit and run. 22 is the roll. That's an 8. And it's against wins a B pitcher. So 8 is going to be out of first base, ground out to second, moving the runner Hack to the second base. So score 4-3 and timeout. Pinch hitting for the pitcher Lone Warnicki is James Ken O'Day. Ken O'Day is a pinch hitter. 1 out, runner in scoring position. 34 is a fly out to center field for the second out. And we go to the top of the order for Augie Galan, who is 1 for 3 on the day with a double and a run scored. Here's the pitch to Galan. 42 is a base on balls. Cubs will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. And that will be Billy Herman, 341 hitter of 7 home runs in 1935. Here's the pitch from Early Wynn. 32 is the roll. 26 is going to be an infield pop fly caught by Bobby Avila, ending the 7th inning and ending the threat. The score is Cubs 1, Indians 4. The new pitcher for Chicago will be Huey Casey, a grade C pitcher with YW modifiers. And he will be facing the bottom of the Cleveland order, Dave Filey, George Strickland, and Jim Hegan. .26 is a fly out to right field. 1 away. George Strickland. 65 is a pop out to the catcher. 2 outs. And Jim Hegan is going to be a ground out to the second baseman. We go to the 8th. Indians 4, Cubs 1. Early Wynn comes back to his warm-up tosses here in the top of the 8th inning. He'll be looking at the middle of the Chicago order. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Chuck Klein, Gabby Hartnett, and Frank Damari. Here's the pitch to Klein. 42 is a walk. That is the 4th walk yielded by Early Wynn. Klein is on first. He has average speed. Gabby Hartnett comes to bat. 22 is a 6 against the B pitcher. That's going to be a double over first. The runner goes to third, and the Cubs are in business here in the 8th inning. Second and third, nobody out, with Frank Damari the batter. And I notice over in the Cleveland bullpen, there's activity. And they've got two relievers warming up. They got Ray Narleski, a right-hander, and Don Mossy as the left-hander warming up in the bullpen. Frank Damari steps in. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. 54 is a 32 with runners on second and third, column 1. Play result is a X bonafide strikeout. So Early Win gets Damari on strikes. Phil Cavarretta is the batter with one down. Here's the pitch to Cavarretta. 36, 33, that's going to be a fly out to right field. The runner will tag, climb, and score. So the runner at third tags and scores. It is 4-2. Cleveland leads Chicago, and that brings the bat Stan Hack. Tie and run. And they're going to let Wynn try to finish this inning. He's supposed to be the first batter next inning. Here's the pitch to Stan Hack. 44 is an 8. Grade B runner on second is going to be a ground out back to the pitcher, who throws over to Vic Wertz for the final out. But the Cubs score, and now the score is Cleveland 4, Chicago 2. Hugh Casey is going to stay on to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning for Chicago, and there will be a pitch hitter for Early Win. Okay, Jurgis is the next batter for the Cubs is going to be right-handed, and then the pitcher, which they'll probably pinch hit, and then a switch hitter. So it doesn't really matter. We'll probably bring in the setup man, Don Mossy, who had 7 saves. Narleski had 13 saves in 1954. So the new pitcher for Cleveland is going to be Don Mossy, a grade A pitcher with an X modifier. But before he takes the mound, Dave Pope will be the pitch hitter for Cleveland. 45 is a base on balls. So Cleveland will have a fast runner at first, and Dave Pope. And we go to the top of the Cleveland order. Al Smith. Nobody out. Okay, I'm not seeing too many 13s. There's a couple 13s on the car. I think we'll start the runner. Here's the pitch to Al Smith. It's 33. That's the second column roll with the runner already moving. 22 is going to be a 7. The single to right field. See, great. That is going to be a base hit for Smith, moving Pope to third. And no outs. Timeout. Roy Henshaw will be the new pitcher for the Chicago Cubs as they go to their bullpen. He is a grade B pitcher, Y strikeout rating and W modifier. The Cubs will play the infield in. They don't want to give up any more runs here so late in the game. First and third, here's the pitch. 24. 31 is the result. It's going to be a fly out to center field. And that's going to allow Dave Pope to tag up and score the 5th run for Cleveland. And that run will be charge to Casey. Here is the next batter for Cleveland is Larry Doby. One down, runner on first. 63 is a roll, fly out to right field. 2 away. And Al Rosen comes to bat. 1-3 is going to be a base on balls. That sends Smith to second. He's a fast runner. Rosen to first. He's average speed. Vic Wertz. 31 is the roll. And that's going to be another walk. He has walked, the bases loaded. And now that W modifier becomes even bigger on Henshaw's card. Timeout. Okay, manager Charlie Grimm will make another trip to the mound, and he'll bring in a new pitcher, Charlie Root, for Chicago. He is a grade B pitcher, Y modifier. Root will have the bases loaded with 2 outs, facing Dave Filey. Here's the pitch to Dave Filey. 42 is a strikeout, so Root holds the line here for the Cubs. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, score Cleveland 5, Chicago 2. Okay, Don Mossy is taking his warm-up tosses to pitch the top of the 9th inning and see if he can hold and get a save. 3-run lead. It's a safe situation. Billy Jerkus will lead off for the Cubs. 65 is a pop-up. Jim Higgin has it measured and makes the catch for the first out in the 9th inning. Here is a pinch hitter now for the pitcher. Pitch hitter is Freddie Lindstrom. He is swinging from the right-hand side. And Mossy's pitching from the left. Here's the pitch. 46 is a fly out to right field for Fred Lindstrom. Augie Galan is the Chicago's last hope. He is 1 for 3 on the day. Doubled, scored a run. He has also walked. Don Mossy winds, pitches. 25 is the roll. That's an 8 on a grade A pitcher. That's going to be a pop out to third base for the final out of this Apba Classic game in favor of the 1954 Indians 5, the Chicago Cubs 2. We'll be back with a wrap-up. Well, the Cleveland Indians are all lined up on the field congratulating each other on their victory today over the 1935 Chicago Cubs. We have the Cubs getting 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error. The Indians scored 5 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher today was Early Wynn, who went 8 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 5 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 4. The losing pitcher was Hugh Casey, who pitched 1 inning, gave up an earned run, a hit, and a walk. Lon Warneke pitched most of the game for the Cubs, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, a strikeout, and a walk. The star of today's game for the Cleveland Indians is Early Wynn. Early Wynn is a Hall of Fame pitcher who won 300 games. And I'd like to talk about a little story. I was at that game when he won his 300th game in June of 1963 at Kansas City's Municipal Stadium. And I remember sitting about 10 rows back and looking at this man with a large waistline warming up on the sidelines. And I said to my dad, "Dad, is that a coach pitching today? Why is he playing catch on the side?" And my dad said, "Oh, no, that's Early Wynn. He's going to try to win his 300th game." And indeed, we saw him win his 300th game that day. Now, this is why I love YouTube. I'm sitting here watching old videos of the Kansas City Athletics about a month ago, and there was this video put up by Dallas Moore that I saw on that game, where he had highlights of Early Wynn walking into the field, walking up to warm up. They used to warm up in front of the dugout back in those days, on the warning track with the screen behind home plate, the backdrop behind that warming up activity. Once saw Orioles pitcher Pete Rickard throw a ball through that screen while warming up. But I remember that day clearly, and I see on the YouTube video, it's blurry, but there's me and my dad sitting there watching Early Wynn warm up. How cool is that? Well over 50 years ago, 55 years ago. So that's kind of neat. But Early Wynn's their start today. And final score, 54 Indians, 5, 35 Cubs, 2. The next Apba Classic game will be posted on Monday. I'll upload that Monday, and that's going to be a special edition, as my wife and I are going to go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Hall of Fame Museum here in Kansas City. And we will feature two great Apba Negro League Classic baseball teams coming on Monday. Please join us. Apba Brian, thanks for joining us today. Good night, and God bless.